Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I'm Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network, and we got a green day. We got a green day. And it's looking pretty decent right now. Even on the hourly, we have some red, but things are starting to turn around for us. We are currently hitting a little bit of a resistance level right here, and it is going to be the median line. It's going to be the dashed line of a downward VWAP here off of Chart Prime's indicator. So watch that one. Seeing a little bit of resistance. Looking here at the oscillators right there beside me, right there. We are hitting the zero line on our oscillator ribbon. Money flow is kind of stagnant and in the red right now. We're going to talk about this and where it could be going. We're also going to take a look today, guys, at the Gaussian channel. And could we see a $100,000 Bitcoin come into play? Right now, I'm watching about 110. That's going to be a really good level to watch there. But overall, looking very strong on the charts, looking very strong on the markets. We have the crypto week here. And we've talked about this all week long. Well, since Monday, I should say. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, July 16th. So since Monday, we were talking about it. It's crypto week. And all of these bills kind of came to a halt, a screeching halt yesterday because of some Republicans that decided to flip over to the Democrat side. According to what we're hearing now, Trump has called these guys and said, hey, look, get in my Oval Office. Let's talk this out. And now he says he believes that they're ready to vote today. Matter of fact, CNBC got a little video clip we're going to play in a little while. Just said that they think that all three of those bills will be passed today. Will this be a catalyst to move Bitcoin up and get it pumping again, or are we going to pull back into this Gaussian channel? And also, we got to take a look at an article talking about XRP and a 20% drawback. What is causing this? What would that look like? And is there any support in that range to even justify that article headline? We're going to take a look at that and a whole lot more today on the Morning Market Report. And of course, PPI data. Got to talk about the macro, right? PPI data and the charts. We're going to take a look at all of it. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats. Get your notebooks out. Guys, class is in session. Let's get it. All right, guys, good morning and welcome to the Morning Market Report right here on the Piper Academy Network. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to all of the people in here. But first, I want to bring up my partner in crime, the OC guy. What's up, dude? How you doing today, man?
Emotional damage.
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, Bitcoin is just kind of stable. Everything's just a little boring. Other than that, waiting for it to take everybody looking away. I mean, I think this is where it matters the most, when things are getting boring, right? When you need to start planning. And you mentioned something yesterday. You were telling me a story that planning. How you mentioned it? You did something for 20 something years, and you still on the army plan hours and hours before going to the event. Yeah.
Yes,
right. So
it's actually not hours. It's weeks and days. It's months, weeks, and days before. Like what we were talking about. We were talking about something in another group that we're in on the admin side. We won't go into the details on it, but they were wanting to do a change that would make access restricted for team members that didn't have 2FA. And if you don't have 2FA on all your stuff, I question your sanity anyways, but I digress. They wanted to, one of the members said, can look, there's been a bug on this before and it's took away everyone's access. Can we test this on a test server before we do this on the main server? And the response was, no, they should have 2FA. And I was like, I think if they've got a known bug before, it wouldn't hurt to practice this, right? So what I referenced to OC was that in the military, when we did change of command ceremonies or anything like that, where that's the commander would be changing out with a new commander, we would do months, weeks, and days of practice sessions of standing in a square in the sun in a square and then marching like we've done our entire career, but we would practice it over and over and over. Why? Because it takes about 1,200 times to create muscle memory on something, and you don't know what problems are going to occur until you test run it, right? So doing a test run sometimes works great. reference this to crypto now, Piper. Okay, I can do that. Never send a full amount on a transaction. Send a test transaction first, small amount, and then move your big one once you see that it works right. You can learn a lot. You can learn a lot from dumb crayon eaters and crusty old veterans. I'm just saying. All right, OC, let's go ahead and bring up our beautiful alumni here in the chat today. Guys, appreciate y'all being here. Let's see who we got here. Let's go up here. Oh, by the way, we do currently have a poll going on. It says, which comes first, $100,000 retracement or $130,000 all-time high? Right now, currently, 65% say $130,000 all-time high. 35% are saying $100,000 retracement. So, guys, if you haven't voted on that yet, go up there and vote on that. I'd love to see what you guys are all thinking. And then we got Ninja Glock in here. Who else do we have? I can't see up there ahead. Let me go over here to see. We had Ninja Glock. Yeah, Roman Brave said good morning. We got CryptoCoin Mindset Keith in there. We've got Ali G, Alexandra G. She said Circle eyeballs, and I went and looked at it. Yeah, it's at $210 right now. What is it currently at? It might have even gone up again. Circle is pumping. That's 208.70. But yeah, getting a good pump on Circle today. I'm happy about that. I think that a lot of that is because they're oh, look, the Genius Act is finally going to move. If you guys don't know, that has to do with stable coins. So we are seeing some action there on that. So yeah, Circle eyeballs. We we have Roman Brave in here. I already said his name. We got Dylan VA. Donato Cabrera's in here with us. We see Curtis Hill, Papa G. Ayo, bada bing, baby. Good morning, he said. You are so New York, man. I'm telling you. I love that dude. Let's see who else we got here. Darren does things, Dusty Hunt, and K Diggity in the house with us. Appreciate you guys all. Oh, what's my fine 89 2 Dub joining us also. Appreciate you guys. All right, OC. We need to get into the news. I think I got I don't know. Let me see here. Today we have 1, 2, 3, 4 articles, 5 articles to get through. So we need to get into the news and get that going. But can we take a look at what Bitcoin's doing first? Do a quick synopsis on just where we are right now, what's going on with price action, and then we'll go into the news, and then we'll project what we think will happen with price action off of this news today. So let's jump over to your chart and take a look at Bitcoin first.
A few moments later.
Got to
Emotional damage.
Do something about this. Oh man. So I was saying that I'm tricking my chart so you don't see the full spaghetti chart see here. Nonetheless, remember that yesterday we were talking about a possible retracement to this area here. It did not happen. It went back up. We were expecting now a breakout structure. That is when we took the trade to the upside and then took some profits on the way down, close our trade completely, and let us stop us at profit because we move our stop to entry slightly above just to compensate for fees and spread or whatever there might be out there, right? So then I was thinking, hey, I was expecting a new possible pattern on Bitcoin, a pattern that is well known, right? When we have a hump, a bigger hump, and then I saw this, right? What if I was wrong? So we removed the previous pattern, and we adapted it to have the first hump, secondary hump, right, and then the range to create a triangle, and then off we go. So we were also expecting some pullbacks somewhere around here. We were very, very, very close for that taking here. If you can see, let me just get rid of this or just move it away. We actually went out in here at 6 a.m. my time. We actually hit our entry here on this one. Nonetheless, it was just plain and simple not taking it. Why? Because I'm expecting to see that maybe further continuation to the downside, as I was explaining yesterday on Trading with OC. So far, I'm expecting a little more sideways. What kind of sideways? Maybe creating a head and shoulders in here. Remember, that's why we also have this one. And if we create this, we could be having a broadening wedge lower down here to create a cricket to the downside, head and shoulders. So if we have a cricket to the downside head and shoulders, that is not good because those kinds of head and shoulders tend to break strongly to the downside and then tend to be very aggressive. So we'll still need to wait. Remember, we're following this pattern. Let me just adjust it to what is actually playing out. And I think we might be having something like like that right now. Let me also adjust this for a second. And it seems like I locked it. So they don't know what the fuck they're doing, of course. And here we go. All right, perfect. So far, so good. Still looking for those, for this pattern to play it out. When is going to be my next possible entry? As I am rejecting of the zero line in here, so that rejection happened faster, or as I'm breaking through that zero line. If I'm breaking through, I'm going to be longing it at the next retracement for hitting the top, TP number 1, and then possibly a head switch to the downside as I come back down, create a lower high, and then maybe take off for an early breakout. But other than that, still on the flag out pattern here. Hopefully we can do this and not lose the trend line that we have right here.
Awesome, I'm hoping that we don't. I'm hoping that we don't. But I will say that there is a possibility of it. We are seeing some sell-off in the markets. S&P and the Dow Jones is dropping right now, or Nasdaq, I should say, and the S&P is dropping right now. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we see that. Let me refresh here. Yeah, S&P is about flat, I should say. It's 0.04 now. NASDAQ is down, though. We'll be looking at that in just a second. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Veritech. Baba Yaz joining us here. Veritech, he said, crickets with OC is hilarious. Maybe this is scripted. It's not. This man loves to mute himself. Tinfoil hat. Veritech, get out your tinfoil hat. OC's going to join you. And as shout out to Alexander G, welcoming all the members as they roll in. Guys, let's take a look at the news today, and let's see what we got there. Today's news brought to you by Optery. Guys, protect your data out there. Go check it out. Link down below. It's free to see what type of info is on you out there across hundreds and hundreds of data collecting sites. And once you get there and you see what it is, if you want to get it removed, you can go further with it. But yeah, they are today's sponsor on the news, protecting our members. That's what our goal is here, guys. Looking at Into the Cryptoverse metrics right now. Crypto market cap currently sitting at $3.761 trillion. The trend on this is about $4.067 trillion. We are currently undervalued 7.54% total market cap. Looking at crypto wristbands for Bitcoin right now, the crypto wristbands are at 58.5. I want to check something here. I want to look at the total. Let's look at total 6 and see what this one says. It's at 58.4. Also, I want to see total 59.8. The total crypto market cap getting up there in those wristbands, guys. But Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin dominance. I never go through these enough. Bitcoin dominance. Holy cannoli. Look at the wristbands on Bitcoin dominance, man. It is crushing. Speaking of Bitcoin dominance, how are we looking over there? Bitcoin dominance is slowing down a little bit. It's coming down. We're starting to see some alt shift here from Bitcoin without stable coins. It was at 68. We're now at 67.3%. With stable coins, we're at 62.89%. So starting to see a little bit of flow of money into the altcoins. I think a big chunk of that, honestly, is Ethereum. Ethereum holding up quite well in comparison to Bitcoin right now. So what is the wristband on Ethereum? Can we look at that? Let's look at that. It's at 62.2. So yeah, you can see that we're actually at a higher wristband right now. We're in the 60% band versus in Bitcoin, we're in the 50% band. So we are seeing a higher dominance level coming in on Ethereum, putting it into a higher risk level right now. So let's go jump over here, take a look at X and see what we're seeing on Fear and Greed Index, currently sitting at 70 right now. We are in greed, staying away from that extreme greed. That's a good thing. This morning, guys, we had PPI data come in. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But it was pretty decent. I won't lie. It was not as bad as they thought it would be. It was actually under or at on most of the stuff. We did see a higher mortgage rate come in. So if you're looking to buy a house, that's probably not happen anytime soon. Looking here at the 24-hour liquidations. In the past 24 hours, 99,433 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $318.09 million. The largest single liquidation order happened on Bybit. It was Bitcoin for $8.3 million. So You got this. Me holding paper. It's my signature free emoji. Claimed. Love it. That's pretty cool. Holy balls. Bitcoin dominance. There you go. Look at the price today on the market cap, guys. Bitcoin sitting flat on the daily, down on the hourly, and this is why we're seeing that wristband for Ethereum go higher. That dominance starting to slip on Bitcoin because Ethereum's got a pretty good, big market cap too overall, $384.6 billion, and it is up 4% today, sitting at $3,186. Let's go down to XRP. XRP is up about 1.1% right now. Bitcoin, of course, at 118.4. Let's see the other big movers today. Solana's up 3.1%. Everything's pretty much in the ones, the twos, but we do have some outliers here like Chainlink, very far from $800. If you know, you know, but it is up 5% on the daily, sitting at 1650. Avalanche up 3.4%. Shiba Inu's up 3.8, and Toncoin in that number 20 spot at 2.9. Litecoin still sitting below that top 20 position, but Pepe is making a run, guys. It's moved up to the number 25 position, up 4.7%. Could we be seeing a resurgence of Pepe in the markets? Very possible. Do I have a fresh look here on this? Let's see. CNBC. What's our TradFi Wall Street looking like today? Dow Jones is up about 0.2%, just under at 0.18. S&P pretty much flat, guys. It keeps flipping green, flipping red, flipping green, flipping red. It is at 0.01% to the downside, and the NASDAQ sitting right there about 0.16% to the downside. See, look, just keeps flipping back and forth. Very static. Russell 2K is up 0.4%, and the VIX is pulling back, but it's still above 17. So it is in the area of volatility today. Looking at the European markets overnight, almost all of it was in the green except for the Stoxx 600. And then Asia was very mixed with the Nikkei in the red, Shanghai in the red, and the Nifty 50 in the green. Bond market, guys, we hit 4.5 yesterday when this thing was not showing on the bonds market. All of a sudden, now it's back here once I called it out. Maybe somebody was watching. Who knows? Anyway, 4.447% there. It's still high, way too high. This is not a rate that an area that we would look at refinancing our debt in the United States. And really, that's why this needs to come down. That's why Trump is calling for a 300 basis point rate cut from the Fed Reserve, which would be 3%, guys. A 3% rate cut. It would absolutely just be insane what would happen with that. So looking at oil right now, oil is coming down a little bit, sitting at $65.74 a barrel. Natural gas and the Brent. Brent is down about 1%. Natural gas up 1.53. Let's look at gold. Gold is moving down to the downside just a little bit, about 0.1%. It's sitting at $3,331. Silver's at $37.87. Copper is down 1.63%. And guys, look again, platinum up 0.57%. Palladium up 2%. Palladium highly, very much so, outperforming your platinum call, OC. We should have traded that. We should have done a trade competition on that one.
No, man, you got me that one. I cannot debate the data.
Palladium, bro. Palladium. I love palladium. All right, let's talk about this mortgage rate here. We were at 6.77%. The mortgage rates came in this morning for July, 6.82. That, because it's going up, look, mortgage applications dropped by 10%. Previously was up 9.4%. This is a drop, negative 10% to the downside there. Doesn't look like I'm going to sell my house anytime soon. I'm going to be paying 2 mortgages for a while, I think. And it is what it is. But looking at the PPI, that's the data that came in this morning. This is producer price inflation. How much does it cost for producers to buy the goods to make goods? So Papa G just became a member. Shout out to Papa G. Gino, appreciate you, bro. Welcome to the alumni. Make sure you join our Discord and get access to all the stuff over there. The DCA plan for altcoins and Bitcoin and all the trade setups, and plus just a great community. Best community around. Love the alumni. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about this PPI, though. It was previously, we had a revision on it, first of all. It was at 0.1. They moved it up to 0.3, meaning that last month it was actually 0.2% higher than what they had said it was, which is very possible. That's what we could see with this, right? Hey, it's zero. No, maybe not. Maybe they do a 0.2% revision next month on it again. Of course, we won't get that as a headline like this. It's going to come in. They're going to put it on the back table in the back of the classroom, and I, as the teacher, will have to let the classroom know. So, looking at the PPI month over month, though, guys, they expected it to be 0.2 to 0.3%, meaning static. Actually, it would have been up from the 0.1, but it would have been static based on this 0.3. Came in at 0. PPI core month over month. And if you guys don't know what makes it core, it excludes food and energy. Okay. So it's producer price minus food and energy. This core PPI month over month was expected to be 0.2. Again, had a revision on it. Was previously at 0.1. It went up 0.3% previously. And now it came in at 0. Core PPI year over year was at 3.2, actually, a revision from 3. So it went up 0.2% also. Was expected to be 2.7, came in at 2.6, better than expected. Again, so we're seeing PPI all came in really good, meaning we are not seeing the inflation on the producer side. Now, there is a reason for this. I will state this. A lot of these companies, they bought a lot of goods. Hey, we're going to need this for production. So they bought it before the tariffs came into play and had this, we're sitting on this stuff. So it's likely that we will see that the inflation plays out on this later because they're sitting on all the goods. There's no impact of tariffs yet. But as of right now, we're not seeing tariff impact on inflation for the producers. So PP in your eye, as Alex O says. I miss Alex O. Guys, I miss Alex O. I used to watch Alex O every morning while I was prepping for my show, and he's on vacation. So you guys, go over to one of his videos. He's been dropping some static videos. Go over there and drop a video, comment in one of his videos and tell him the Piper Academy misses him. Because I do. I miss him. I've been dropping in there going, day 3 of no Alex O. I may have to find a morning hobby. What else do we have today? Not much. Tomorrow we're going to get retail sales month over month. This is coming in 7:30 a.m. my time, so 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. This will be right before we start the show. It is expected to be higher, so we're seeing that the demand is still there despite prices, inflation being lower. So that could cause some inflation on that side to also come in later. And then Friday, we're going to get building permits, housing starts, and the consumer sentiment for Michigan expected to be better. On the consensus, slightly lower on forecast. So keep an eye on the macro data, guys. It really does move the market. So what are we looking at with this PPI and the CPI data that came in this week? And how could this play into the Fed, the Fed Reserve doing a rate cut? I'm looking at July right now. July, we have a 97.4% chance of a rate pause. No rate cuts coming at all. Looking at September, which is the first one that everyone thinks we're going to get, it's 44% chance of no rate cut now. And if we look at October, which is the one that I think we get, it's 20% chance of no rate cut. So right now, status quo on this is they're not getting a rate cut from Jerome Powell. So of course, Trump's going to have another meltdown over that. So longs versus shorts on Bitcoin. Let's talk about this. We're seeing a slowdown in the number of shorts, okay? But overall, in the 24-hour period here, it's still sitting on shorts at, let's see here. Where is it at? Well, we're still looking at shorts being in the realm of 57.9% of all trades on Binance are shorts right now. I still think that we're just going to get volatility to shake those out before it moves and picks a direction. So don't be surprised if we kind of range here for a while in that area there. ADA short in at 75 cents. Take profit at 73.3. 15x leverage LFG. ADA said he called that out this morning on his show. The strike. Hold on. The strike zone with ADA Ace on his channel this morning. He did a call, evidently a short on ADA. So 75-cent entry and take profit at 73.3. We might have to take a look at that, bro. Cardano trading over there on the strike zone. Looking at what we have here on the liquidation heat map, guys, I do want to point out right now there's some liquidity sitting above us. Okay, there's some liquidations up here, several $billion all the way up to that range that we have. But look, there's not a very hot zone sitting at all-time high. Our hottest zone is coming in below us at 111, all the way down to about, well, 111, I guess it would be 111.8, 111.7. Excuse me, 115. Let's do that. 115.6 all the way down to about 111. So that is this entire zone of liquidity here. And this is like that one right there's 500 million, 532. That one is 500. So there's a billion, there's 1.5 billion, there's 2 billion. Like there's a billions of dollars sitting here between $111,000 to $115,000 that we need to keep an eye on. And that would cover that entire CME gap, by the way, also. Let's talk about crypto week. So the GOP had a revolt yesterday. They had a revolution. Viva la DC. Trump steps in to rescue the U.S. crypto legislation, meeting GOP holdouts after the CBDC concerns derailed the bills in the House. So last minute intervention by U.S. President Donald Trump may have rescued crypto week after a major procedural vote collapsed, stalling key legislation on July 15th. An attempt by the U.S. House to advance 3 pivotal crypto bills failed after a group of conservative Republicans rebelled, citing concerns over CBDCs. This pretty much said, okay, we're not voting on anything else today. They actually crossed the aisle and joined some Democrats on this. And then Trump said, hey, come to my office. Let's talk about it. Most of them were from the Freedom Caucus, by the way. They defied party leadership to vote with Democrats, enabling defeat. The 12 dissenters were Representatives Andy Biggs, Tim Burchett, Chip Roy, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Andrew Clyde, Eli Crane, Andy Harris, Anna Paulina Luna from Florida's 19th District, and Scott Perry from Pennsylvania. Their primary objections reported centered on fears that the Genius Act could open the door to a retail central bank digital currency. According to Tarrant, the bill explicitly prohibits the Federal Reserve from offering things like digital wallets, personal accounts, or anything that even veers into the CBDC territory. So then Trump said, come out here, let's talk. Get in here to the Oval Office. I'm in the Oval Office with 11 of the 12 congressmen and women necessary to pass the Genius Act. After a short discussion, they have all agreed to vote tomorrow. And if we come back over here, take a look at X, we will see this bill here. Here he is talking about it. Let's get this volume up.
Mr. Emmer has, I guess, rumblings that maybe the vote there, and then the president met with some individuals yesterday. Are you confident now the votes are there?
I believe that we do have the votes to advance the Senate Genius Act, which will create the first federally regulated, with clear rules, dollar-backed payment stablecoin, which will unleash a new competitive round in how payments are.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. He thinks that they're going to get the Genius Act today, and if that passes, he thinks that all the other bills will pass. Yeah, I turned off the echo. I'm sorry about that. It came through 2 audios. I heard it in my ear, too. I was like, this is very weird, and it's not good. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to come through and get passed now. All 3 bills have the votes to pass, according to Financial Service Chair French Hill, and so we could see that today. And on that news, we're seeing Circle getting a little bit of a pump today. Let's jump over here with OC joining us, and let's talk about this bill, man, because right now Trump says he's got it passed. He's got the votes now. Are we going to see this? Are we going to see this happen today? And is the Genius bill going to be a rally catalyst for crypto in general? This not necessarily the Genius bill, but is the Genius bill going to lead to the Clarity bill? The Clarity bill, which gives defined framework for financial investment and banking and everything with crypto in the U.S. Is that going to be a catalyst to move the markets? OC, what's your thoughts?
Absolutely, what you talk about.
Later.
It actually seems scripted, man, but it is not 100% not. I'm just not used to looking at my audio turning on and off. But when we're talking about U.S. economy, everything is going to be absolutely. Everything is going to be a catalyst. I mean, we're talking about #1 economy in the world. So everything, even a fly just passing by, it's going to get everybody just nervous for the reaction. So far, I think there is going to be a limited reaction. I don't think this is going to be a major sentiment mover, especially since we've been hearing about this for a little while in the background, right? Many other things more instant has been happening, such as tariff and tweets. So I think as long as those go on, we might have just a limited reaction from these bills. So far, when we start talking about, well, I think that will explain it all. Everything else will be just adding to the same. But what do you think? Is it going to be more dramatic? Is it going to really impact it?
I think that it's going to give a rally at first, but I think it's also going to create a lot of volatility. I think that buy the rumor, sell the news is a thing that we get all the time. So at the end of the day, I absolutely think that we will get, an alt. In the end, we'll get a pump, but I think that buy the rumor, sell the news effect will happen. It'll be a pump as it's getting voted for, and then we'll get that pull off. Of course, we're seeing some stuff on the charts right now, OC, that are not very pretty. On the daily right now, if you look at daily on Bitcoin, we did hit that upper resistance band on 3 days ago. We found some support here on the upper gold band of our predictive ranges. But if you look here, about a 114 is this nice trend line here coming all the way from back here, a couple of points of touch back in the December and the January time period. And this was that level that you said, look, it's could be resistance. We talked about this on the show the other day. This might be the OC retest coming back there to look at that level coming in at about, again, 114. That would be in line with all that liquidity that we're seeing at 115 and below. And then I want to point out, don't forget on the 4 hour, let's go to the daily here actually, and go look at that level of the CME gap. We do have a CME gap sitting right here in between about 113 to 115 also. So that would give that opportunity for the price action to come in, clear out that CME gap, grab all that liquidity on the heat map before taking off, if we do get that volatility in play. But overall, the levels that I'm watching, and this is on our thumbnail today, the levels that I'm watching really have to do with the Gaussian channel. And if you take a look back in history, I just want to put this into perspective. I think the cycle looks a lot like what we've seen in previous cycles, not 2021, but more in line with what we saw back in the cycle before, the 2018. So you can see here is the 2020 where we went in 2021. If we look at the 2016 cycle, if you look at the ending there, this is where we had this nice run in. And if you see the price action here and how it plays on the Gaussian channel on the weekly, $92,000 is that current level right now. Put this back on the daily and see how this looks. We're seeing that right now, despite some pullbacks, which have become little resistance pulls, you could almost just trade the Gaussian channel, honestly. Look, we're breaking below the 50. Let's sell it off, right? Break below the 50, sell it off. Getting above this 50, which is where we got our bounce at here in June, I should say, right out that 50, the candles closed back inside of that range. If we look at that level, we're talking about 105,000. If we look at the top side, which is a very strong support line for us here, time after time after time. Shout out to Cindy Lautner. There you go, Alexander G. There's another song reference for you. That one's coming in at like 110, which would be right in the ballpark of that liquidation heat zone that was saying, 111 up to 115 for the billions of dollars they're sitting on that. So Gaussian channel looked pretty decent right now. I'm keeping an eye on that. Of course, I'm also watching on the minor capitulation. They still haven't come out on the Capriola. They have on Bucks, not on this one. This is the one that I've been using for a long time, the Capriola Investments hash ribbons. Still in capitulation there, not seeing the miners come out of that. And then we still have about 2.5 more segments here of our profit-taking zones before we hit ultimately that 3 November window, which should be in line with the end of cycles. So I'm watching this stuff daily. I think right now the big thing to do is just to monitor the day-to-day and what's happening with politics, with tweets from Trump, and where we're finding support. Of course, right now, looking at 4 hour, We do have this little pullback again, like I said, but I'm going to be watching closely right here. That's going to be your dynamic. That's going to be your money flow, and that is going to be your oscillator ribbon. If this rejects down and this money flow continues with it, we could see this return here. Look at that level. Dynamic reactor. What is it doing? 111,000 again. So if it's crazy, this number just keeps popping in. And so while I did say on the poll $100,000, I really think that that's a far stretch for us to come down to. I mean, it's not really. What would it be? Less than 20%. We've done that in Bitcoin, but I think that $100,000 is less likely than 110, 111. So, that's just my take on this. I am still watching the VWAP. The anchored VWAP flipped bullish here on July 13th. And since then, we've been beneath this. Right now, we're fighting with this white dash line here. If you can't see that, I'll bring it in a little bit for you. But there's this white dash line here that is it's part of the VWAP here. And it's like your warning line, right? It's like the 50% line on a channel, right? So we are rejecting right on that one perfectly right now, too. That's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. Oh, see, I want to talk about this because we talked about the Bitcoin and the whales and what's going on right now. Bitcoin whales break silence. Is a mid-cycle pivot imminent? Bitcoin's rally hit a pause as price slipped 4%. From its all-time high and a typical pullback during a bull market. Its on-chain signals are now flashing a possible market pivot as whales become active and dormant supply begins flowing again in July. In its latest analysis, CryptoQuant revealed that Coindays destroyed, that's the CDD, surged to 28 million this week, which indicates older Bitcoin previously held inactive has now been transferred. This pattern is historically tied to large holders repositioning near cycle midpoints or local tops. In addition to this, net realized profit and loss, or AKA the NERPL, also spiked above $4 billion in realized profits at the highest level since Q2. Such a trend reflected significant profit taking by whales and recent buyers, while Bitcoin's price hovered around 117 to 120,000. A lot of people sold off there taking profit. There was a $120,000 sell wall that just once it got hit, bam, down it went. The price action amid heavy realized profits suggests resilient underlying demand or delayed reaction. So interestingly, this wave contrasts with late June when the NERPL data showed realized losses and modest profits. It hints at capitulation by late entrants while long-term holders accumulated quietly. The current environment flips this narrative. Profits now dominate while older coins flow into the market. So we are seeing some whales move and get positioned here. The question is what is their sell point? Where do they go? All right, this is where I need to grab this money at and lock in some profits. And what happens to them if we don't have a typical 4-year cycle? Because they're operating on known knowns, right? But right now we have that unknown known, which is, hey, there's a cycle in there, but it might be later than we expect. OC, I'm going to pass it over to you on that one before we go into XRP and talk about that. Well, what happens with this price action and how quickly do you think this thing flips around if there's an extended cycle? November comes and goes and we don't get that pullback and these guys that started taking profit, do they celebrate and just be happy with their profit, or do they FOMO back in and cause an even bigger rush again? Let's kick it over to you and see what you got.
Absolutely. So let's just zoom out in here and let's go to a clearer chart. We've been talking about this possibility, right? And the truth of the matter is that despite we can speculate on what could happen, nobody knows, right? This is going to be the first Bitcoin micro cycle or extended cycle. I've been talking about mimicking gold, but the actual thing is that, well, history might never repeat, but might rhyme, right? At this point, let me just get into weekly, get somewhere where I can actually look for. So I guess it's going to be this one, and let me turn everything off so I don't have that much of noise, right? Right here, there we go. On weekly, let's go also logarithmic, and this is just to illustrate the height of the cycles, right? So remember, there is a change in logarithmic versus what we see. We usually want to see flat out, right? But the more market cap that we have, we're also going to be seeing less of a blow off top, right? So what maybe, or what the implications of an extended cycle would be? So I would say that just basically a higher range, that will be safe to say. And that is because let's follow the pattern. Look at that. We have blow off top, right? We flag out with a little bullish pennant, and then we went back up. We flag out with a little bullish pennant, then went all the way to this area, back off, blow off top, right? And as you can see, we're having more and more extended kind of cycles like this, all right? And then what happens, once again, this is the first time that we don't have a blow off top. And what is happening, we also flagged out, right? Let me just clear this up so you can see it. This is starting to look like a channel, and now we are channeling. So what could maybe we be expecting? I would say the microcycle will be just another channel, slightly tilted up, slightly tilted down, who knows? But talking about influx and outflow of money, where is the possible target? I would actually be estimating right now that at the best case scenario, we could be getting 225 K, and that is just to start breaking the market cap that we have, right? So we want to have, or at least I believe that we want to have a breakout retest, off we go, to create one last flag. So when we come back down, the retracement will set up the actual bear market low, and it's not going to be a 50-70% market low, might be a 30-40% market low. And then based on this lower, not that low, if that makes sense, so a cap out lower, well, then people are going to get a little bit interested. So institutions are not going to sell. More diamond hands in the market are not going to sell, right? There's more scarcity out there in the market. People are more educated, therefore they're not selling as much as they did right back in here. And what's going to happen? We're going to cap into a defending area. So once again, coming back up, then not hitting the previous highs, just like it happened in the 10K in the previous two cycles, right? Remember when we have 10K prior pandemic, everybody was excited. Hey, this time we're going to break it. And no, we didn't. I think the same thing is going to happen. We're not going to break it, right? We're going to try to come back to these lows, and we're not going to break it. Back again to these highs, we're not going to break it. And finally, after a half, and I'm pulling this out of my sleeve, just so you know, right? This little part. After a half bear cycle, we're going to be seeing coming back up, breaking previous highs, retest, put up a new all-time highs, and then a retracement to then put on a new low high, therefore creating a higher low, and then creating a little bit of a rally, and finally getting our 500K target. So this is not a for a short target, but this is part of the analysis that I did back in the day, right, for the extended cycle. So having these ranging zones usually indicate strength in the market, because when we're supposed to be going lower, we capped that low. So we capped that outflow. For this, we need to see inflow of money, new, fresh inflow of money. Where is it going to be coming in from? We need to see it coming from Forex. We need to see it coming from metals. We need to see it coming from other stocks, right? So it's not going to magically happen. We need some groundbreaking scenarios for this to play out, because as you mentioned, right now ETF, they're also built up for retail. In retail, it's going to sell when they see the snowball effect. So we need fresh money jumping in from somewhere else.
And that very likely could be retail. Here's why. If you take a look at Kabisi letter this 40 minutes ago, retail investors are increasingly driving the market. Retail shares of total single stock trading volume has reached 14%. It's the highest level since 2018. This even surpasses the average 12% recorded during the meme stock frenzy of 2020, 2021. So remember GameStop, AMD, all that stuff going on? Yeah. This is even higher amount than that with retail. So by comparison, the average over the last few years has hovered around 10%, currently sitting at 14%. Individual investors' top holdings are NVIDIA, Apple, and Tesla at $472 billion, $284 billion, $256 billion, respectively. In other words, retail investors own over $1 trillion in just 3 stocks. What happens when they decide that they're going to start rotating some of that $1 trillion into Bitcoin and crypto? If these are the same degens that were around in 2020, 2021 with GameStop, and they're the same degens that are keeping NVIDIA, Apple, and Tesla afloat amidst all of this turmoil of Tesla and Elon Musk and Apple and their phone not selling that well and all of the tariff threat, like this could be the money that you're needing to get into that scenario there, OC, just so you know. Also, right now, if you guys don't know, look at your watch.
But something interesting before we move on, it's coming out of stocks, right? So yes, coming out of retail, but it's coming out of stocks. It's just switching from one market to another market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a segue. It's a branch, not a sequel. So there you go. For the military people, the branches and sequels, it's a thing. Let's go talk about the time right now. If you guys look at your watches, on the East Coast, it's 10:47 right now. Do you know what's relevant about this time zone, OC?
Not
about
really.
This time frame, 10 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Do you know?
10 to 11. Well, we might have another show coming up. Crypto Princess.
No.
Maybe?
Yeah, we are going over there. It's her 1-year anniversary. We're going to redirect to Crypto Princess today, but it's this, man. Trump, and this is shout out to 2Dub, WixWiFi89. She said, it's so strange that we live in a time that tweets have such an impact, okay? So check this out. Trump's stream of social posts come at all hours except one. Here's what the data shows. U.S. President Donald Trump's market-moving social media commentary has kept traders, investors, and even journalists on their toes since being elected. The 3 a.m. hour in Washington, D.C. appears to be the only time that the president never sleeps appears to slow down. Yet even in the dead of the night, 10 posts have been published, the lowest of any other hour during the day. So that 3 in the morning, 10 posts, that's the lowest, okay? Unfortunately for investors, many who will be unsurprised to find policy announcements over social media, a pattern seen during his first presidency. Data shows that Trump's single most active hour is between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. when trading on the U.S. stock market is at full swing, with a total of 323 posts in that window of time. So if you guys don't know, now you know. There's a whole breakdown here, and I'll leave this here so you guys can come back and screenshot this. But this is the times of the day that you have the highest volatility. It's like 10 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and let's see, that would be, what is this? How many hours is this? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's an hour. So that would be 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6. So after the markets are closed, right as the markets are closing, and right after the kick in. So the safest time to trade, 3 a.m. That's right, JR. 3 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. So you guys now have a breakdown of this. I thought it was pretty interesting. I love to see analytics on data that correlates and may not actually absolutely be, directly related, but there's a correlation, causation versus correlation for my academics out there. Perfect example of this, OC.
Remember that we had a thing with here it goes with the auto pen last administration that auto signed a couple of things.
The auto pen, the auto pen.
The auto pen. Maybe we have an auto AI bot that posts all day long, knowing when to push the markets. I don't know. I'm just saying.
WixWiFi said Piper is a data nerd, and we're here for it. You want to hear a data nerd point? That it is a perfect example of causation versus correlation. And that is on ice cream. Ice cream causes, I don't want to get banned by YouTube here. Ice cream causes unwanted advance assaults. How about that? It rhymes with grape. Okay. And if you look at the data, when ice cream sales start to skyrocket, so do the number of grapes. So there you go.
Oh, I got a good one too.
But it's not causation, it's correlation. It has to do with time frame. So when summer starts to heat up, people tend to go out more. People tend to wear less. There you go. And so there's that whole time period that is at the same time period that as it starts to warm up, people want more ice cream. So causation versus correlation. So it's hot and people are angry.
The more Nicolas Cage's movies there are, the more car accidents there are.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So
what? So are you saying that there's a causation correlation that we're going to see more carjackings when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out in 2050?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so, bud.
That game's never coming out, man. Never coming out. All right, let's go take a look and see what else we have over here. I want to talk about XRP before we head over to the beautiful Crypto Princess's 1-year anniversary. So XRP. Let's talk about that. XRP price could drop 20% before the next rally. On-chain data is suggesting. Let's go down here and see what they're saying and talk about. You can go ahead and get your chart up, OC, on XRP, and let's see if there's any support zones in that 20% pullback. I'd like to see it. XRP is still up nearly 26% over the past week, trading at $2.93 after briefly touching 301. While the surge has reignited bullish sentiment, on-chain data suggests a short-term correction may be on the horizon. A spike in whale transaction and rising exchanges reserves are setting up conditions similar to past local tops, pointing to a possible 20% drop before XRP price resumes its upward journey. Exchange reserves are signaling caution that it's climbed to the highest level, $2.96 billion sitting on Binance reserves right now since January 2025, signaling a potential selling pressure ahead, according to CryptoQuant. The last time that the reserves spiked this high was in May 2025 when XRP was priced around $2.54. That period was followed by a 20% correction, with the tokens falling to a total of $2.01 over the following week. So you can see as this exchange reserve, that's the purple line on here, as this purple starts to peak in, we start to top out and we get sell-off. So here we have this spike up here that happened on it. We had a nice sell-off there and then another spike up and sell off. Right now, we're getting at that level where we're starting to hit into a zone that they're saying, look, the reserves are pretty high. Might be a time for that 20% pullback. OC, let's jump over to your XRP chart and let's see what are we seeing there. And what would that 20% put us at? Is there any support down there?
Absolutely. So this is my XRP chart here. As you can see, it's extremely bullish, and this is my long position. So just make sure that you have enough wiggle room right down there. No, just kidding. But if you're looking for support, man, what other support can you expect from the XRP army, man? Those guys are fantastic. They really push the price up. All right, so in full seriousness, let's take a look at the 4 hour. A couple of classes ago, Piper was showing you some news showing that XRP was, what was it, like 95% of all of XRPs were in profits. I think we're still right there on the same chart, on the same data point. Something that needs to happen, it's new influx of money, or at least having some ranging zone to cool off and balance out when people are longing, and then when people get short and long, right? When they get liquidated without actually losing a price point. So far, we're seeing that little range playing out. I do have an alert at 3.1497 and another alert right here at 2.62. And that is because I think that is going to be the range where we're going to be playing out. Especially, I believe that we're going to be pushing to the upside. I was expecting a fall or a move out of a, sorry about that, about a 30%, because that's what we've been seeing so far on the previous pumps and dumps. For example, this movement, little range, and then, and this is not a constant, but usually come back down, right? So what do we see in here? Again, the same measurement, that 30% measurement that we can see. So far, if we're able to hold this area here, because we already have fixed that movement from the bottom to the top, if we're able to hold this area, we could be having an XRP that is somewhere around 3.87 for the best case scenario. Talking about retracement, let's go to daily. In daily, and let me just turn off my drawings. Well, I think they're not that bad. All right, so they're not that bad in here. We still have this same range, and the only thing that worries me, it is this area right here. So as soon as we are breaking out, which we are right now, we should be seeing a big body candle, which we don't have. And look at our oscillator right down here, right? With exactly what we were expecting when we see sell out on the market, or sorry, overbought in the market. So basically rejection or being on the rejection area. We haven't had that bullish week, but nothing, I mean, not everything is lost. And that is because if we are able to, let's see, there we go, to come back down for a goose hit. Where's my pen? And why I cannot draw here? All right, coming back down for a goose hit. Do not lose our green cloud. That might give us enough momentum, right, for the price action to come back up, or for at least our oscillator to come back up and start ringing some bells at the top, like in here. So look at the same, what happened here. We had that little range, and then we blew off with a lower low. So something like that we could be having, and then creating a lower high, for then the retracement to then continuing to the upside. This, I think, it has to do with the very, I don't know how to classify them, but very exciting news about XRP, with the banks, with the new global order, and how they might be using their change and their capabilities with Visa and MasterCard as we go digital. So other points of view, which actually bring out my tinfoil hat theory, it is how government officials, they have left the SEC and go become part of XRP. I don't know about you, but that talks a lot about XRP, despite we don't see this actually moving on. And another thing that I want to put into the same, kind of like the same as XRP, is going to be CRO. And that is because Truth Social is pushing the ETF, the blue chip ETF that has Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and it's also including CRO. And CRO is doing better than I was expecting. So another maybe a hidden gem, other than XRP, could be also CRO. But that's what I got so far on XRP.
Yeah, if you look here at the daily, just some key points here that I want to point out on the daily for XRP. We are at a downturn on the histogram. We have peaked and started to turn on the signal line for the MACD normalized. Downtrend, power bar, overbought, downtrend, true 7, money flows coming down. And look at the RSI. And I showed you guys this before. When we start to get these smaller and smaller candles pinching, that typically leads to a sell-off also. Let's take a look at this 20% line here from the top OC and look at that price range. That would be sitting there at about $2.41. Okay, let's come over here. Let's grab a quick Fibonacci from this bottom level here and bring it up to that level. That would be a little bit right above the 0.618 of the golden pocket. Okay, so there's that. But let's grab a fixed range volume profile and pull this over here and take a look at the irony here. There's that again. Let's do the measurement. There's our fixed range volume profile. There's our 20% run. Guys, that comes in right at the point of control on where all the volume's at right now anyway. So that would be a logical point for us to extend down to if we do get that sell-off. And as of right now, looking at the daily here on the oscillators, we are definitely in a heat zone of sell-off, at least a cool-off, even if it means consolidation to get this stuff lower. It's about to come lower. So keep all that in mind. Of course, another one you should watch if you're going to do that would be watch for XLM. Why? Because there seems to be an XRP and XLM correlation. If you don't know why, it's because XLM was created by one of the original founders of Ripple. And so there's a nice correlation there when XRP sells off, XLM sells off, and sometimes it's even a higher amount. Ripple CTO David Schwartz himself acknowledged the phenomenon August 2024. He don't fully understand it, what drives it, but it's definitely there. XLM and XRP correlation. So if you're looking for something to trade when XRP starts to go down, XLM might be your better option to trade because it will drop quicker, in my opinion. So, OC, that is all we got time for today. We are at the top of the hour. It's time to head over to Crypto Princess and her 1-year anniversary, guys. Let's go celebrate that with her. When you get over there, drop the graduation caps. Tell her happy anniversary from the alumni. OC, you are live today, I believe. So go check out OC, trade live with OC later on today. And then tonight, Markets After Dark will not be taking place. LBC is on vacay. So tomorrow morning, tune into BC Port Corp. Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, the headlines, the macro, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe. Use some risk management. Peace, love, profits. We're out.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered. Even
emotional damage.
They keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels flow low.
I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to protect dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels flow low.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in the track.
The ZTS rhythm. Rip it. Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
You can't handle the truth.
That was awesome, dude.